heaven! Yoisho!
I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. This is exclusive.
What up, guys? Your boy Jake at dripmode, and guys, I am back and I'm gonna build a dial today. Finally, been itching to build a dial, and today's that day. Now, before I get into the project, I want to say is that I'm gonna be gone for a couple of weeks for my vacay, for my B-day vacay. Guys, I'm turning 40. Can you believe it? I look 40. Not really, but I'm 40. So today I needed to get myself a really cool toy that I've been wanting, and I want to give a shout out to Toy Dojo for coming through, and I want to show you guys the item that I'm gonna build a dial for. Boom! Here is a Honda. Guys, I am so happy that they made another Honda. In the past, you know, Soda Toys is an old school brand that they don't exist anymore, but they built the first Honda. But once I found out that Storm Collectible is making a new Honda, I was like, man, I have to get this guy for my collection. As you guys can see, I've said it before in my other videos, you know, I'm into Storm Collectibles. I have all the Streetfighters, got Mortal Kombat, and I got also like SNK, Samurai Showdown, and this is a new addition to the collection. So Streetfighter 5 brought back a Honda. And not only did they bring back a Honda, they brought back all his nostalgic like details. Not only with his costume, but also the bathhouse. So for those that have played Street Fighter since Street Fighter 2, you know, he's known for the bathhouse stage. And throughout the evolution of Street Fighter, that stage has evolved and has changed. Each one of them has his own separate, you know, uniqueness to it. But Street Fighter 5 brought back the nostalgic stage with a modern touch, and that's what I love about it. So what today's dial is going to be is the bathhouse, and I'm going to be referencing Street Fighter 5 with a little bit of, you know, inspiration from the original one. So that's what we're going to be working on today, his bathhouse, so I can add to my collection, even though I don't have that much room, but I'll make it work. But today, that's what we're going to be working on, guys. So let's get to it. Alrighty, guys, so I'm here on my computer, downloaded some images from the internet of Honda's bathhouse, and just kind of noticing what has changed over the years, and not really much besides in some versions of the Street Fighter 5 they took out the sun, they added some wood on the top, but overall everything else is the same. You still got the bath in the middle. You got the mirrors, you got a little area there for you to clean yourself, and you got the ring in the middle. So overall, I think I understand the space, and here I am playing in Tinkercad, just trying to understand how much foam I'm going to need, and just understanding the dimensions. So this is pretty much the direction I'm going to go with. Next day, and all 4 pieces are magnetic now, so I can magnetize them all. Alright, but I just started working on the details, added the columns in here, cut the door out that goes to another bathhouse. You'll see a curtain down till to here, so that's kind of like the baseboard around it. Also on this side of the wall, you really don't ever see this side of the wall, and believe it or not, it's literally this on this side, but because of space, I'm gonna make some modifications on that. But it's gonna be a pretty cool mural over here. But right now we're gonna work on the details that matter first, and those are the tiles. So this is gonna be challenging because I'm gonna be using a pen to create the tiles. And with tiles, it's more of a grid versus like the bricks. The cutting, the laying it is that they lay half on each other like this, where tiles are like literally like a grid. So yeah, this is gonna be tedious. So I'm gonna get to the tiles now. Alright guys, so you can see here is the bath. Now I just finished sanding it down, magneted everything, so everything's magnetic, right? But now we're gonna work on the tiles. So yeah, so now that I have defined this, I'm gonna be using this paper as a grid. I can use this to define this side as well. So line that up. Got 2 lines. Look at that. Alright. Just continue doing it and start just getting into it. So it's gonna be tedious, but alright guys, so one of the most tedious parts is done, and that's actually drawing out every tile. You know, I always say, always put your figures just to see everything looks good. This is looking pretty neat. It's definitely a pretty big dial. So now next, painting everything black. I'm going to be covering the whole thing with Mod Podge, and then we're going to go into the paint. So I got some Mod Podge, and it doesn't matter if you use gloss or matte, it doesn't matter for the priming. So what we're gonna do right now is that we're gonna put some Mod Podge into a container. The ratio is gonna be more Mod Podge than black paint. So I'm gonna pour some Mod Podge, put some black acrylic, and we're gonna mix it. Test piece. Now the reason why I'm showing you guys this is because the next part is how am I gonna paint the tiles, and I really don't know yet, and I'm experimenting with some techniques that I know and that I'm assuming may work. So on this side is the assumption I'm just gonna paint the base this baby blue, and then here's the other scenario where I'm just gonna leave it white. There's always a spill. So I'm thinking about adding this spill to both scenarios and see which one gives me the right look that I'm looking for. Put it there. Mission accomplished. We got the bathtub. want to protect what I've done so far. And I want to use a sealer, so I got Mod Podge as my go-to sealer. But this time I'm using glossy Mod Podge. So, because everything is supposed to be tile, you need that shine, right? To protect everything, give it a shine. Alright, so now the Mod Podge has been applied and it's all nicely dried up. And you can see it gives it this nice shiny coat to give it the effect of tile, but also it has a purpose of just protecting what you've already applied onto it. Also started working on the beams that go along with this dial, and here's an example of a doorway, and those type of details really start adding to this dial. Now next up, you're going to be working on the props and the accessory that go along with this dial, like the mirrors and the lanyards and whatnot. So, hey guys, so now I got some plexiglass now. What this is gonna be the water inside the tub. I'm gonna insert this piece so it could look like water, and then on top of it, I'm gonna put Mod Podge so it could look like ripples. So I'm gonna try to use my cutter right here and hopefully get this cut. Booyah, it worked. Okay. Okay. And now we have water. It's, you know, it's a bath, right? So I want some current, I want some bubbles. So I'm gonna be using some Mod Podge, glossy Mod Podge, and just gonna start dabbing it on the glass. With this technique, I'm just making sure that some of the areas that you see here stay clumped up. Now all we need to do is let it dry. It'll dry clear, but it'll dry with the streaks that I created. Over here is kind of like the jacuzzi, and this is just a regular, you know, bath. Up next is just the cord that goes on the floor, and that's what defines the ring. So I went to Hobby Lobby, was able to find this. So gonna use this to create that border. And the one detail that I'm noticing is that they have this line that repeats over and over and over again. So it's all about the details. So what I'm gonna be doing right now is just drawing with a permanent ultra fine tip marker and just repeating that pattern over and over again. I'm gonna be using this dice to help me keep the distance consistent. And there you go. Looks awesome. This is a snack cup. I'm noticing there is this wooden bucket where the person that's taking a bath can actually soak their towels and actually scrub themselves. Where mine's going at right now is cutting this in half, cut thin slices of the foam and paste it. Okay, so there it is. Part that I gotta work on now is cutting pieces of foam and attaching to it. It's coming out good. Look at that. Yeah, the problem solving is what I love about this hobby. Trying to find a way to build something, come up with an idea to execute it, and man, when it comes, it comes. So I got a bunch of these bristles right here. They're metal. Some of them are a little bit more stronger than the other ones. What I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna scrape from top to bottom, real gentle, and then apply pressure as I keep pressing. Okay, real easy. Okay, and boom. I already got the pattern of wood. Okay, don't go too hard. But I'm nitpicking, so now I'm gonna be using some Das clay just to fill in between the two pieces of wood, so it gives you the illusion as one piece of wood. So I'm gonna continue the process for the rest of the bucket. Now the piece has dried up, and we're Gonna prime it with Mosh Posh. Now that this is all dried up, start painting. I'm using here some golden brown and some nutmeg. Let's give it the base coat. Now, dry brushing. Gonna be using a lighter brown. Gonna be using that for highlights. Alright, that looks pretty good. Gonna be adding the brackets around the wooden bucket here, and I'm gonna be using electrical tape. Make sure I got long enough to wrap it. Alright, so here's one. So we're gonna wrap it on the bottom part. And there we go. So off camera, I decided to put resin. I'm gonna be using these blankets and kind of seal it down there. I'm gonna be using the Mosh Posh to stick this there. Perfect. And then with the Mosh Posh, just put a little bit so I could grab. Same thing what I did to the tub. Just put a little bit of Mosh Posh. This one looks like still water. This one is not gonna look like still water. There we go. We got one bucket of water with still water and a little blanket, a little towel. I got one that has current and bubbles. Maybe he was like using it. Alright guys, moving along. There's these yellow, I want to say they're bowls or maybe they're pans for you to utilize when you take a bath. So what I'm thinking about is cutting this top part right here to replicate those pans. Boom. That's what it looks like in the reference. And I think I'm good with this. So now I'm gonna paint, you know, obviously we're gonna cover it with Mosh Posh and then paint them yellow. So next we're gonna be doing, it's a chair, but it's also, it looks like they put it on there when it's not being utilized, or maybe for the person taking a bath can lean on it as they're washing themselves. They have a little chair to give it that wood texture. And there you got it. Alright guys, so next up I'm gonna be doing is the shower head. Now there's these little shower heads in the corner on the left side. So I was able to go get some Lego pieces, glue these guys together. Okay. So just gonna paint them silver. Just silver. Now I'm bothered that this does not look like a shower head, right? So what I'm thinking is cover this with Mosh Posh and then poke it with holes, because a shower head has many holes, right? And there you go. We got a shower head. So now I'm gonna let it dry and then I'm gonna repaint it to make it silver. And let's try it out. Boom! That worked. That worked amazing. And haha. Alright, got some more Lego pieces, and what these are, I really don't know what to call them, but they remind me of faucets. The faucet in the reference, it's either going to be red for hot or blue for cold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint all these silver, and then once they're dry, I'm going to paint half of them with the red top and half of them with the blue top. This is the result. Simple, effective. Alright guys, so I just finished the faucets, right? Now it's time to work on the station. So it has a mirror, signage, a little light, and 2 faucets for hot and cold. Putting these pieces on against the wall and look at my space and composition, this guy is a little bit big. So the ideal size would be to make it this big. So like always, gotta find alternatives. Chrome tape. Find something that looks like a mirror where I could cut, and it's adhesive. Go to an auto parts store and they have these. Perfect. This is exactly what I needed. A mirror, and then the sign goes next to it. Right? Would love to know what these means, but this is what's in the video game. Alrighty, and there you go. So this is the setup. Boom. Glue the pieces, and I'm gonna start putting the faucets. Okay. So I'm gonna use my X-Acto knife, and I'm gonna do like a cross. And let's see if that works. Boom. And we're in. Mission accomplished. Oh, I'm so happy. Alright guys, next up is resin. So the bathhouse, the floor is wet. So that's what I'm gonna do. Make it look wet. This is pretty easy. You get, 50-50 of A and B. Right? When you do resin, they give you 2 types of compound, A and B, and you have to mix it. Got like a card, and I'm just gonna put them in certain areas, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna spread it. Alright, and that's it guys, that's all you need to do. See where the reflection only meets the resin, and after that, yeah, look at that. Oh, that is badass. Alright guys, next up is the lantern. Now, no luck in finding a lantern in the size that I need, but instead I went to Michael's and I found this. Thought it was a good size. It's perfectly a good height for the dial. And I went to 7-Eleven. I got some of these Slurpee covers when you buy a Slurpee. And check this out. Boom. It fits perfect, right? But also we're going to be using rubber bands. They have these like kind of patterns that go around it. I'm going to prime this whole thing, but this one I'm going to be using is Prime Black Matte Spray Can. Okay. Alright, so it's all now painted black. Next up, I'm going to paint it red. Not bad. Not bad. Gonna moss polish it. Just to be able to keep these rubber bands intact, because they can move. Time to create the character, and hopefully I get this right. It's pretty thick. There we got it. There's the lantern. Gotta let it dry. Put another coat to fill in the details, just to make sure the white looks consistent. So I went to Hobby Lobby, got tons of materials that I need for this next part. It looks like almost like a drape that goes on the door, and it's purple with some symbol. So I don't know how to stitch right, so I used this. It's called liquid stitch. So there you go, made 2 holes on the door, on the top of the door, so that I could fit this rod. But the curtain I'm talking about is gonna be hanging off of this. Okay. I don't know. Just wish me luck, because this is something I haven't done before. So now I am working on the calligraphy. Started to work on it off camera just because I wasn't really sure how to go about it. But I'm using a paint marker and literally just kind of going over and over and over again until it looks solid. Alright guys, so now we're at the end, and I'm working on the last finishing touches, and that is the famous Rising Sun painting. Now I was looking at the Streetfighter 5, that's kind of like where I'm getting most of my referencing, and it has evolved, it's changed. When you're playing, you see this one now, it's all gray, but then when you win the game, you get this sun without the stripes. And you get this signage over here, the character just kind of like showing you this signage that I don't know what it says, but if you guys know what it says, let me know. And then this unique one, for any of the Street Fighter, you really don't see the right side of the stage. And I was noticing in Street Fighter 5, they were adding a painting to the right side of the stage. Now that painting that's there is usually, it's 2 sumo wrestlers fighting, and I cannot find anything on the internet to be able to like print it out or anything. So what I did is I got a traditional sumo wrestling, I guess, painting, and then decided to use that as that piece. So, but yeah, that's it guys. I'm gonna put this up there and I'm gonna go off to the reveal.
Path of my destiny. Final round. Fight.
Ta-da-da-da! Here you go guys, here is my Honda Sento Bathhouse for the famous game Street Fighter. Now this one is definitely inspired by Street Fighter 5, but Street Fighter 5 is also bringing that nostalgic elements from Street Fighter 2. And I am so happy that Storm Collectible gave us a Honda so that I can build this amazing diorama that is actually pretty big. But I'm just so excited because this was a very tedious dial because it's very heavy on accessories. The diorama itself you know, it was actually pretty easy because it's just walls with tiles. But then it started getting real meticulous when it came to all the accessories, from the buckets, the pans, the chairs, the mirrors, the lantern, and the biggest one that was a pain in the butt was the actual drape that covers the door. So everything else was pretty cool. It was fun to do, just to kind of see it come together. When I was building it, I was just kind of getting excited as I was building it, because it's actually one of my favorite levels. The fact that I was able to incorporate you know, resin to give the wet look, man, that was just a great opportunity to play with resin again, but to actually just nail that look. And same thing with the pool, and then the background. What I did was, the background is actually double-sided. So my girlfriend actually gave me the idea to actually have it print out on both sides there. So that, I believe, the most iconic poster background for Street Fighter is when you see the guy come out with the poster and the sun turns red. The original is the actual sunrise with the stripes, but there's a lot of controversy about the painting. But Street Fighter 5 kind of made their own version, and this is the one that they're presenting in the video game that I think is pretty cool. And this is probably how I'm gonna display it in my cave. In addition, to kind of nail this ambiance, the look and feel, lighting is important. And as you can see, there's not much area for me to bring in light. So I had to install these light strips so that I could illuminate the inside real well to kind of imitate the video game. But guys, yeah, that is it. That's all I gotta say about this dial. It was fun. It was challenging. And man, I'm just happy. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new with this video. Guys, hit that like button, write a comment, and if you haven't yet, hit subscribe. Guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
I'm all the way